Welcome back, guys. Today we go over creating a retail agent, setting up your retail agent to have the ability to check your calendar, the cow.com calendar, and to make bookings as well. By the end of this video, you're going to have a retail agent that's going to be able to book meetings directly into your calendar. What we're going to do is we're going to attach two workflows. It's going to be a check booking calendar and a create booking calendar. You can do a native API connection into cow.com. However, I tend to find that the n8n is a little bit easier to get connected. And with Claude code, it'll pretty much do the work for you. All you really need to do is download the JSON for the agent and then prompt Claude code to create you an n8n booking workflow for create bookings and then check availability. If you're enjoying these videos, please do like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way we can keep pushing forward and creating more and more content. We probably should have done this one first. However, I'm just going to show you a couple of things that you can do to give your agent some capabilities. I do understand there are some out there that do already have the ability to book directly into your calendar, or you can attach your calendar straight away. I guess the benefit of Retell AI is that it's a little bit more developer friendly and it gives you more control in regards to what you can actually connect to Retell, which is pretty cool. And you can ideally connect any workflow to Retell. I've connected an email workflow to send out an email notification once a lead has been confirmed. I've connected one just to get SMS history. The one that I'm going to be showing you guys today is get SMS history. How that works is it's going to extract history or data from Supabase on the basis that there is data there. If there's not, and it's an outbound call or an inbound caller, it is quite useful so that your retail agent interoperability between the SMS and the conversation that it's currently having. Therefore, it's a little bit of a seamless interaction between the customer and the ecosystem that you built for interacting with the customer, the AI voice agent, because it's going to have context from the SMS. So that's enough speaking from me. I'm going to show you how to get this all started. So this is a multi-prompt. The difference between a multi-prompt agent and a single prompt agent is a multi-prompt agent, you have the ability to create a tree. And the primary purpose of creating a tree, if you're able to predict what the conversation might potentially go, how the conversation might potentially go, and you can give the AI some direction in which you want it to take. Okay. I do find this rigid system more of value if it's towards an outbound call and it's a lead qualification. So you're qualifying this person as a lead. This multi-prompt agent is more of value in that setting. Otherwise, a single prompt agent is ideally a better alternative because it gives it a little bit more flexibility and it gives it a little bit more freedom to understand some nuance. Right? So if you're creating this from scratch, so we'll go create agent, we'll go voice agent, you can go multi-prompt, single prompt, conversational flow agent. Conversational flow agent is highly formatted and it's very rigid. And again, it's very dependent on what outcome that you want. I would tend to think that a very rigid and highly formatted conversation is more beneficial if you're qualifying leads or you're qualifying people or you're doing an interview, or in the terms of, let's say it's like an HR interview, or you're ideally using the AI agent to interview a group of people or something along those lines. Multi-prompt agent is what we use. It's a little bit more flexible, but it's a little bit structured. However, it just gives us a little bit of flexibility. Single prompt is probably the most free form and it's more simple. This will probably be better if it's like for a real estate company and it's inbound messages or inbound, and the conversations are fairly simple. Something breaks in a house and someone needs to be notified, or they are inquiring about a property. So pretty simple. Or it's just inbound and it's for business and they're ideally calling with a specific purpose. And generally, if you've worked in that business has a set of parameters or have had enough conversations to ideally have some sort of reference towards how these conversations would go. So if it's inbound, it could be a little bit simple. Multi-prompt, beautiful if you want to build a full tree. You want to give it a little bit of flexibility. You want to be able to control the flow of the conversation. Not really control, but you want to give it more detailed instructions based upon certain parts of the conversation at which the conversation could potentially go. So this is more, the one that we built is for outbound lead qualification. Okay. And so this will be the greeting when he makes the call, lead name, service type, blah, blah, blah. Tools are optional. So there's the end call, the call transfer, agent transfer. Depends on what you want to do. However, it is very, very important to note that if you apply a tool in your multi-prompt flow, conversation flow, you cannot apply the same tool as a function in your main prompt. Retell doesn't appear to let you do that. Okay. So that is important to note. And so in regards to the prompt within itself, I think the most important thing is giving the agent parameters that are required or necessary to attain the specific information from whatever platform you're using. So if you're using cow.com, it requires a JSON and it requires specific details or information in order for it to be a successful API call. Okay. And most of the time you will get that information from the documentation, right? Depending on what you want. For cow.com, if you're looking to book a slot or to retrieve information of the slots available, you can just search it. So let's say, here we go, get available slots. And it will tell you what you need, what is required. So it'll be a GET request. This is the URL that you're going to be using. You're going to need the header, authorization. When you enter it, I'll show you guys this. It's going to be bearer, and you're going to need your API token, API key. And the second parameter you're going to have to enter is Cow API version. This is also important. Otherwise, it's going to error. And the output that you're going to receive is status and the data that you have requested. There's two workflows that I'm going to share with you guys. Workflow number one is to check availability. So this is to check what slots are available in your calendar. So you go trigger, and then from the webhook, these are very, very easy. Like you can usually just go here, type in, and then from here, you can just test it from here. However, I prefer to have everything in line first and then working through it. Some people go node by node. It's totally up to you. Whatever workflow is most effective and efficient for you. And you just go here. It's a code node, JavaScript, blah, blah, blah. And then you go HTTP request, request. Okay. And within the HTTP request, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need a get. So the method is going to be get. The method is going to be get. This is the API URL that we're going to send the call to, so which has been determined through here, right? Okay, so API v2. So an important thing to note or to remember, I'm pretty sure I have mentioned this before. When you send a GET request, it's exactly that. You're asking to get something. You're asking to get back data. When you send a POST request, you're sending data, right? So you're posting data. Very, very simple. But it's an important discrepancy to understand, because if you have this as a POST request, whereas it's meant to be a GET request, it's not going to work properly. In fact, it's not going to work at all. Okay. So this is the event type ID. What the event type ID is the six digits, 7 digits. It's a 7-digit number that you're going to attain from whatever event type you create, right? So this is the meeting that we're going to be using. Okay. And the number is generally within the URL between the slash and the question one. Okay. And you copy that and you enter that at the event type ID, the start, okay, which is date from and date to, and the time zone in which that you are. This is the important part. This is very important. So when you send the header, so what the authorization is you're requesting to extract information or extract data from your cow.com account or profile, whatever you want to call it. And this API number is the key that gives you the capability to extract the data that you need. So you need to ensure that that is correct. So you're going to send a header. So usually you can type that one in and out. And you will go authorization. We will go bearer and cow. I'm just going to copy it from the other one that we have here. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for this. And we have another one. And we're looking for cow API version. And the other one that we're looking for is that there. Okay. Important to note. And there you go. And that is how you set up your check available slots. Okay. How you can test this is the reason I prefer Retell. You can just chat with it. You can call it. It's up to you what you want to do. I'll usually just chat with this and it will tell you what tools are being called and if it's successful or not. What slots do you have available for tomorrow, right? Thank you. Let's go more like we have got an error. So that means, what did we do wrong? Well, I think what we did wrong is we did the wrong Cal API version. So let's stop. And we can bring it there. So that just goes to show you how important it is to actually to have the correct Cal API version. Otherwise, you're going to have issues getting it to work. So focus on it. So just a sec while I pull up what's available for tomorrow morning. Thank you. Cool. So there you go. So once it fixed that, demonstrate that it found some slots that are available. Okay, so it requested, it sent out the API to get information. Is that we've got plenty of available slots for tomorrow. Okay. And let's book it in for 11 a.m. Be great. Full name is James Bond. Email is james@bond.com, and number is, let's 3. Perfect. So that's made the booking. So the booking went through. So let's just make sure and let's just check that the booking was confirmed. And there you go. So that's the booking there. And then this is a create booking. And this is the booking itself. Okay. So I'll give you all of these. So I'll add this as shareable JSONs in our school.com. So do join. And the bookings are exactly the same. The setup is exactly the same. However, you just use api.cow.com v2/bookings. And it's a post request. Remember what we were saying about post and get. You send the headers. The only differences between the header of a booking is the Cow API version, and you have to also enter content type application/JSON. And this is the JSON that you're sending. So this is the information that your agent would be sending. So you need to make sure that you prompt the agent to send the right information as this occurs here. Okay. And that is just a confirmation that it's been booked in. Okay. And the information has been sent out. In the potential that there's a problem, it is probably a good idea for you to put error nodes in here, each to their own. You can also put both of these in one. You just have to name them differently. So you can put them all in the same workflow. You just name the webhook differently. It is a little bit more tedious, but I just prefer to keep my workflow separate because it makes troubleshooting a bit easier, but everyone is different, each to their own. Depends on how you want to do things. And the last and final one is to get SMS. So if you want your agent to have interoperability with your SMS conversations, so just put the get SMS history, and this is where you enter your API endpoint, and it's going to go through here. We're just going to test it real quickly, and it is going to query the number. So phone equals number. So if you've followed us along through this journey, you would have set up the Supabase along with it, same process. And this is the code node that summarizes it and sends it off. But it says 50. So that's probably needs to be fixed. And let us go to, if we're going to check the book meeting, you don't need to put this headers in here. In fact, you can just delete those and it should still work, because at the end of the day, that information is here, right? That information is here anyway. So what you need to do is just make sure that this is set up properly. The time is ISO format 8601. And that's how you want to send the time out to API to cal.com. That's how it receives the information, the description and the event type, which we just went through. The time zone, you can hard code this time zone if you're in a specific area, all the people that you service are in a specific area. However, you also need the event type, you need the attendee start time, okay, and description and the email address, which you can just pause this and get this information, or I could also just provide this for you in ourschool.com. The other one is check available meeting. The most important parameter you need to make sure that you have in there is the date range. content type, application, JSON. This is here. Remember, you want to put the production URL, not the test URL. And there you go. The post data call, data extraction, that's for Retell to send a summary to wherever you choose. I do have a few workflows that will send a previous a post call summary to get information if it was a successful booking, blah, 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 all that kind of information, all that kind of stuff. Cool. And there you go. Just like that, guys, your Retell agent now has the capability to book meetings on your Cloud.com and to check the slots on your Cloud.com and also get SMS history and have interoperability with previous conversations that your client would have had with your agents, which is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. And we will see you in the next one. Do like, subscribe, comment below, and I will see you in the next video.